Gerry Hughes, team principal of Neo, the team must be on a real high coming here this weekend, having scored a first podium in the Neo branding.
Yes, good afternoon. Yeah, Mexico was great for us as a team. It was great for Oliver. It's the culmination of over 2 years of hard work under the banner of the Neo Formula E team. So I think it's given us a good level of momentum going into this race. But I also think it gives everybody a good understanding of how competitive this championship actually is. But no, it's been a great result for everybody involved.
Do you see yourself fighting at the front again this weekend?
I sincerely hope so. Obviously Punta is a very different circuit, has its own set of characteristics and challenges. Yeah, we've got every confidence that we can continue our run of form that we've seen in Mexico. Clearly qualifying is key, as it always is with these short sprint races. What we need to do is work on Luca's qualifying performance and get 2 cars in the top 10 in qualifying, and then we can fight for podium positions in the race.
So, you mentioned Luca there, Oliver getting the podium. Do you see performance in his race pace and it's just the qualifying that isn't working, or is it sort of across the board that he's maybe struggling a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's indicative of how competitive this championship is and actually how difficult it is to get the performance out of the cars in qualifying. I think these two chaps would contest that in the fact that it is very difficult with 1 lap in qualifying at 200 kilowatts to get the very best out of the car. I think Luca has shown good elements of pace, whether it be in qualifying, whether it be during the race itself. He had a good run of things in Hong Kong, albeit from a position which wasn't going to amount to anything in terms of points. So I think for him, he needs to have a clean weekend where he doesn't have any issues, and clearly there's been issues that he's suffered in qualifying. So putting 3 good sectors together will mean that he's got a fighting chance on Saturday afternoon.
When you look at the team standings, you're in 8th place. Do you feel like you're the 8th quickest team in the championship? Does that frustrate you, or are you not really too bothered about the standings?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't consider we're the 8th fastest team. We have to focus forwards. We've got our own clear goals and objectives, and I want to come out of this race event moving up a place. So Frank, please don't be too quick this weekend. We'll continue to make progress the rest of the season. So, but as you say, clearly we need to have 2 drivers fighting for points to enable us to do that. So, we've had a difficult start to the season. Perhaps not as difficult as some other teams, but we need to focus forwards, and more points will help us in the overall standings, which at the end of the day is important. Certainly in my position as team principal.
Thank you very much. Frank, moving on to you. A quite up and down season, it feels, for Venturi. From the highs of Hong Kong, you haven't quite hit those heights again. Are you expecting to?
Well, I don't know if you hear me. Okay. Obviously, we started in a very difficult way in Valencia, and in Hong Kong we showed that the car was pretty fast and good. And we struggled a lot during the last races, mainly due to qualifications. So that's why we mainly focused our work for this race on to prepare correctly our drivers on the quali laps. So we changed all our free practice sessions, and we review everything. It will be a difficult race for us because none of our drivers never drove in Punta Este, so it's completely brand new for them. So we train them as much as possible on the sim.
And how do you see the relationship between Edo and Mauro coming along? Are they sort of at a similar level now, because Edo came out of the blocks so strongly?
Yes, Edo shows his skill in driving completely new formula. It was brand new for him. He practiced not a lot during this summer because we make very late decisions for our drivers. Mauro is a very skilled driver with 1 year of experience in Formula E, so Edo and Mauro work a lot together to, let's say, to improve our... Edo is helping Mauro to improve the pace, and Mauro is helping Edo to help on the energy management. So it's a real team that we have inside Venturi. Obviously, we don't have the results yet, but I think we will show something very nice here.
Thank you. Roger Griffiths from Andretti. Has Antonio's points haul in Mexico given the team a bit of a boost?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's just one race that's given the team a boost. I think what we showed in Mexico was the pace of the car, certainly in qualifying. You know, made our first Super Pole. If it weren't for a small technical oversight, letting the driver go to the bathroom, I think it was, we would have retained a front row spot. So, you know, one of the concerns we'd always had was about the outright qualifying pace of the car, and I think we demonstrated in Mexico it's there. We need, like everybody, to focus on qualifying well on the street circuits, and then the point scoring will come. I mean, you know, we were going into Mexico weekend, we were 7th place in the championship. You know, Gerry alongside me had a really good result with his team, and you know, the win for Audi made them leapfrog us. But you know, we've consistently scored points. We'd like to be scoring more points than just 2 or 3 a weekend, and we need both drivers. I mean, it's to be a regular point scoring. So it's the same for everybody. You can't rely on one driver to give you points. You need both of them doing it consistently and doing it well.
And so how would you assess Tom Blomqvist's season so far?
I think it's been a little bit up and down. In Mexico City, we did discover an issue with the car that was certainly holding him back in qualifying. We tried to rectify it for the race. He managed to flat spot a tyre very badly in the first few laps, the first car, and that kind of held him back, and he just went backwards from there. You know, Santiago was a bit of an eye-opener for him, his first real opportunity on a proper street circuit, not having done the Hong Kong race, and a baptism of fire, I would say, but much more confident coming here. We know he's quick, he's demonstrated it. You know, he was right on Antonio's pace in Valencia, and you know, a good strong performance from his first race in Marrakesh. So we're encouraged by his performance, and certainly his technical feedback to us has been excellent.